Alright, hey guys, my name is Shadow, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. So today, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're probably not going to be taking any ships out and doing combat today, so if you guys were hoping for that, I'm sorry, that's probably not going to happen today. But we are going to be doing something that a lot of you guys have been asking me to do, and that is a power management kind of tutorial type thing. So I've been getting a lot of comments on several different videos asking me, Shadow, how do you do the power management on this particular ship? Well, I thought rather than doing a whole bunch of individual power management videos for each build that I've ever done, basically, why don't I just do an overall tutorial to teach you guys how to do power management on your own? So that's pretty much what we're going to do today. So I've got the Fer de Lance here. Now this particular ship is really easy to do the power management on because as you can see down here, we're only a little bit over our maximum power draw. So our max power draw here is 25.2 megawatts and we're pulling 25.52 megawatts at our maximum. This is if we had everything turned on all at one time, which we don't. So here's where power management comes in. Now I'm going to exit out of the outfitting screen so that we can actually see what our modules look like, and that'll tell us also what our maximum power is. So down here at the bottom in the red part, we can see that the usage is at 101% out of a total of, well, 100% that we can actually use. So right now you can see that the shield cell bank is charging back up because it was off. Well, why was it off? Because the shield cell banks are something that we're not going to be using both of at the same time. So when we have things that we're not necessarily going to be using at a particular time, it's okay to turn those things off to conserve power. Now, when we're in combat, there are pieces of equipment on the ship that we don't necessarily need. And one of those things is a secondary or even tertiary shield cell bank. So on this ship, we only have two shield cell banks. So we have one here, and we have another one right below it here, but we're only going to be using one of these shield cell banks at a time. So this is where module priority comes in. So priority is, well, it has its own column. It says priority. So you can see most of the things here say 1 in module priority, except for this second shield cell bank right here that says 2. Now, what this does is it tells your computer that this particular shield cell bank is less important than this shield cell bank right here. So if I set this shield cell bank to module priority 2, it's going to say, okay, if I detect that I'm over my maximum power draw, then I'm going to shut off things that are less important than other things. And the way that it knows what is more or less important is by the number that you assign this module priority. So because we're not going to be using both of these shield cell banks at the same time, it's okay to assign one of them to a lower priority so that if you happen to go over your maximum power output, your computer knows what to shut off, basically. Now, there are other things that you can shut off if you don't want to shut off a shield cell bank. For example, we can scroll down a little bit and we'll see the cargo hatch. The cargo hatch is a really non-essential system. So if we were even farther over our maximum power draw, we could also shut off this cargo hatch here. And if we needed even further amounts of power than that, we don't actually need our frameshift drive to be operational while we're in combat. We only need our frameshift drive if we're, flying around the system, if we're trying to get somewhere. But when we're in combat, it's really not essential. So if I needed even more power to be available, I could assign my cargo hatch to maybe a priority 2 or a priority 3, or I could even go farther than that. Like if I set the cargo hatch to priority 3, I can then set my frameshift drive to priority 4, and the more things you set like this, then you can set other things higher. Now I should be able to set my sensors to priority 5, for example, and I could set my life support to priority, it might not go past 5. Okay, yeah, I think 5 is the highest it goes, so it just went back to 1. So we can set things up to priority 5. So, but we don't need to do that, so I'm going to reset all of these things. But that is how your module priorities work. So now let's go take another example on a ship that's a little bit more complex to power manage. So now we're here in the Python. Now the Python is one of the more complex ships that we're going to power manage in this game if you've set it up the way that I have mine set up, which you probably didn't, but that's okay. That doesn't matter. It's just the example that's important. So as you can see down here, we're at 28.66 megawatts maximum output, but we're actually using 32.43 megawatts. So let's go take a look at our modules tab. So we can see here on the modules tab that our actual power usage is 113%. And if you guys recall, I actually did the low emissions power plant upgrade on this, which actually reduced the power plant output. So this is how we're managing power on the Python right now. So we have more shield cell banks on this ship than we do on the Fer-de-Lance, and I have them in kind of a cascading sequence is what I call this. I don't know if that's the correct term for it, but that's just how I'm referring to it. Now, I've actually done a dedicated video on the power management for this ship, but this is still just the example for this particular video. So again, we're in this situation where we have more than one shield cell bank, but we don't necessarily need to be using all of them at the same time. So we have one shield cell bank here, which is dedicated module priority 1, and that is our, well, more or less main shield cell bank. That's the one that's going to be on all the time. And then we have 2 more shield cell banks that will activate in the event that our first one is shut down. So there's no way for me to show you guys this in the hangar because I can't deploy my weapons in here, but just take my word for it that if I were to shut this first shield cell bank down, the second shield cell bank right here would activate, and then if I shut this one down, the third shield cell bank under that would activate. Now you may be saying, Shadow, how do I shut this down? So it's very easy. You just select this, and then this panel comes up, and by default, activate is highlighted. Now if I click on that, it's going to deactivate that shield cell bank. Now I'm not going to do it right now, but just if you click on that, it will deactivate the shield cell bank, and the same thing with this. So if I deactivate this one, then the next one will come on. So let's move back to the Fer-de-Lance right now. Let's go into the optional internal modules, which is where our shield cell banks can be found, and let's just get rid of one of these for right now, and then we'll take a look at how you know how much power you're going to be using. Okay, so now I've only got one shield cell bank equipped on this ship, and we can see that we're actually only using 23.8 megawatts out of 25.2 megawatts. So we have a whole bunch of power that we still have on the table, basically. So we can put more things in there, but let's go back and select that shield cell that we just got rid of. So this is the bank that we just got rid of right here. So if we were going to put this back in, it would put us back at 25.52 megawatts. But that's okay, because we already know that without that shield cell bank, this will be our maximum power draw right here. So if I add in a second shield cell bank like this, then it really doesn't change my maximum power draw. This is what my maximum power draw would be if I had everything activated all at the same time. But because these are two of the same thing, I don't need them activated at the same time, so it's okay to have both of those things. So when you're actually loading out your ship, all you need to be concerned about in terms of shield cell banks or things like that, or things that are redundant in this way, is how much power you're going to be drawing with one of those things. Adding a second one in really doesn't change the amount of power that you're drawing because it's going to be turned off most of the time. So, guys, let me know if there's anything I didn't cover down in the comments. But other than that, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought down in the comments. So that's it for me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Yeah, let me know what you thought. Like it if you liked it. Dislike it if you disliked it. And that's it for me, guys. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.